one short answer on that is if you want extreme growth and extreme success in your career, you must take the risk, and that's the whole point.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode from Careers Talks. Today I have Ross. Ross is a seasoned fintech leader. He worked across several different industries but specialized in building technologies on Web3, really focused on decentralization, cryptocurrencies, AI. You started your career mainly in product development, project management, but slowly you've built that experience where you pivoted to more strategic and leadership roles, and today you're a CTO at Calyptus, which is a company that uses decentralization, Web3 technologies and AI to make the hiring process much more efficient. First of all, how are you doing, Ross?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks, Tamer, for inviting me to your podcast, and I'm super glad to be here and share a piece of my journey.
Yes, I'm super excited as well. Thank you for coming to the podcast. I think, as I mentioned, you are experienced in building fintech products and products using the Web3 technologies and decentralization. How did you walk us through your career journey, and how did you build that experience to become a CTO at a company that is using cutting edge technology to improve the hiring process?
Yeah, that's really a kind of answer that we can talk probably for days or so, because my journey is that wasn't something that's easy to describe. When you kind of born, school, then uni, and then kind of professional career and so on. I had my chunk of interesting stuff going on, and always it was like a thing that I had to overtake and to fight, showing the character and the dedication of myself and sacrificing a lot of things. First of all, I would like to say that I see myself not as a kind of just a professional. I see myself as entrepreneur that builds companies and builds products, and has the unique blend of understanding the technology side and understanding the product side. Right now, I'm dedicated to growing the Calyptus company and Calyptus product as Chief Technical and Chief Product Officer simultaneously, because that's overall quintessence of my belief in how the companies and how the products should be built, especially the startup companies and startup products. If you want to succeed in digital world, and our world obviously is going more and more, it's going to be more and more digital, and literally we are at some point after 100 years, 50 years, whatever, but in future we will probably definitely have the specific metaverse with all the digital stuff, and it will be, and you can see it right now that few companies, and Meta obviously company are trying to build that, but our future is 100% digital, whether it will be metaverse, what any other verse or whatever. But and I've decided long time ago that I will dedicate myself to this digital endeavor and building the digital future. And at some point of my career, I understood that I cannot be no one, not only I am, but no one can be successful in the digital products if he or she doesn't understand the technical side of it. At least at some point. You cannot be fully, you cannot set aside the technical side of the digital products or digital companies or companies. And right now, what's interesting, it's literally about any company. if you want to be successful, even in the traditional companies like a logistic or like just
retail or
basic retail or whatever, you must educate yourself how to how to apply digitalization into these companies. And in order to apply digitalization, you must understand the product side, the business side, the processor side, and the overall the product management and product
life cycle. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
all this kind of stuff and frameworks and so on. But together with that, you must get your head around how the technology is done.
Yes.
What is basically how the many SaaS work? What is the main components of SaaS? What is a cloud service? How does it work? What is an API? You must also understand that at least on the level of the concept and how everything is can align with each other. I wouldn't say that you must dig into the deeper roots, but it's very, if you want to be successful, to dig deeper onto the understanding of how everything works under the hood, to learn at least one programming language and try to build something at your home, and just a basic website, write a few lines of code, and then you'll feel the power in your hands of creating and changing the world around you and building the greater stuff. So that's one of the most important things that I've understood in my journey, because I've got that not because of someone told me that, or someone on the podcast that I was listening to spoke about that and was talking about that, and I like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I was struggling in getting things done, and I was struggling getting things better and showcase myself to get to the point that I wanted to get. I was thinking about my dreams and my ambitions, and I was looking the way how I can reach the objectives, the targets that I planned to reach for myself. And I had to go through the tries and fails. And obviously, it's easy right now to talk about that, but to get my head around and to get an understanding about that, and to carry out these specific ideas, that you must have an understanding of the technology and the product side, and you must educate, and you must select the specific things to understand. You must read the specific books. You must understand. You must kind of work around the specific technology and so on. And that cost me a few years.
Of course.
to do. So yeah, I've started my early career at finance, at banking, but before that, I've kind of tried literally any job as a student, or like a year after the uni, even like as a student, or after the school, after ending the school. Why though? Because I've been born in a small town near the capital, and in a family of workers. And from the early years, I've told myself that I'm getting out of that, and I will be on a road of the much more different life, and achieving much more different life, rather than I had when I was a kid. Because you could probably imagine a person who born in Ukraine after USSR, in a family of just general workers, and I didn't have a lot, and I had kind of only kind of the basic things. Yeah, and I was looking around on the successful people, and I kind of told myself that I'm gonna have a better life, and that's probably one of the also pivotal moments in my career in my like a life story to make a decision what do you want to have in that life, and obviously it's not enough. You must dedicate yourself to that, and that's why I've tried pretty much any work. Not because of also I just wanted to try casually and understand, just because I wanted to make some money
You needed to,
to
yes.
yeah to leave. But I was not only thinking, hey, I'm just will go and do any work. I was pretty much curious and was trying to link the need of getting money to the need of understanding how companies and how everything that interests me works
Very
to
interesting.
to have the clue about what to do in your life. And I saw like a lot of people went to work on like a restaurants for waiters or to the construction just because you have a lot of money there. But for example, I worked in constructions, but I never worked at restaurant because it wasn't interesting to me. But my kind of mates, they had a lot of money from the tips, and they were bragging about that while I was kind of doing something else. But that's probably one of the main things that you need to do in your life to try everything that you're interested in, and then decide what do you want to do. So I've
Yes.
tried a lot of stuff and decided to pursue finance as my career. And my first conscious career step was to work in banking, and I've been prepared for that. I've had the skills for that, and once started in 3 months, I became in 3 years, like 6 months. I don't remember that. It was like a 2010 or something. It was 2010 or 2011. Yeah, and I've been prepared for that in 3 months or 6 months. I became the best manager in the country
Wow.
in this branch, and that's pretty much it. That's my how my career started.
Nice. I think there's a lot of themes to touch on, but really the one that I really resonate most with is your humble start and how that encouraged you that I want to achieve something better. So I really like that you touched on this. I think what would be very insightful is if you can tell us, I know you had a lot of different jobs and positions across different industries, as you mentioned, mainly focused on building product and maybe a bit earlier the project management space. Can you maybe briefly touch on the key experiences that shapes the leader you are today?
Yeah. One of the I have like two key experiences, and they extremely and they extremely interestingly linked between each other. One
Nice.
of my main one of my most most one of the jobs that I remember most from my all this my tries and looking what I like was the job in sales.
Sales.
I was a salesman in a different industries, the retail industry and a few others. Like I was kind of just basically selling different stuff. And before like going to the specific position in a company, I went through a lot of sales trainings, and obviously I read a lot of books about that. And After that, after being for some time a salesman, that was, as I said, one of the my tries of looking myself and of looking what I like. I've had a year or 2 years period of doing sales, and then I finished uni and like went to banking. But this is a piece of experience that is deeply concreted in my brain and which will help and helps me right now in which will help me a years after that. Why though? I'll tell you a bit more after that. But another one of my experience was my dedication, and it's kind of my personal initiative of building more automated processes in banking. So I worked in one of the most dynamic banks in Ukraine. I started my like banking career there, one of the most dynamic banks in Ukraine. And they were dynamic because they had a lot of ambitions, of course, a lot of plans, and they were investing into the business. And obviously, when the team is growing, when the line of the products is growing, and the management wants to increase efficiency everywhere, you need to automate. You need to apply technology to kind of remove some manual work. You need to apply technology to build new revenue streams, better accessibility, and automated service for customers, and so on, so forth. And that was the point when I'm transitioned from the general kind of just a business person to the person that links business with the product, with the technology. And back in the days, I knew nothing about the project management. I knew nothing about the product management, whatever. I just took this stuff and did it.
Executed.
And executed. And thanks to my maybe natural curiosity and abilities to deal with math and abilities to deal with kind of basic logic, I really like math. I've finished the math specific school, and that was one of my strongest skills, like to work with numbers and to look for the patterns and so on. And using that, and using my natural abilities, I had an ability to work with large chunks of numbers and transform that into some data streams and engage with IT guys, developers, and pitch my ideas and work out with some solutions. And I had no idea what I'm doing. I had no idea why it's happening. I've just kind of worked without any understanding of the frameworks on top of that, or any like roles on that, and so on and so forth. And because it was so quick, it was so ambitious, and we literally had dozen of things in one day and work like a 24-hour/7. I was young. I was only 22 or something like that, and I extremely enjoyed that. And
Nice.
after like 2 or 3 years of scaling this bank to the one of the leaders in the industry, I've personally led the building of the one of the first cash loan, fully digital cash loan products. You can imagine that for 2010 or 2011, it was
Wow.
quite an innovation
Yeah.
in the Eastern Europe. And of course, credit cards and all this kind of digital and so on. And I was extremely dedicated to that. And at some point, I understood, hey Ross, you have a plenty of practical understanding of
Business
experience,
processes, yeah.
specific experience of dealing with the technology and dealing with the product. And at the end of my work at this bank, I started to think about that I've reached the glass ceiling in understanding and understanding what I'm doing, and I want to make a system in my head around knowledge and experience that I already got. And I understood that there is a point where I can leverage all this experience, and but I need a theory. I need a better environment that's specifically dedicated to what I'm doing, because in a bank it was not really big bank, and there was no kind of dedicated product and
Traditional
to be honest,
finance environment, I'm assuming.
yeah. And to be honest, there were a little number of companies back in the days that adopted the
Digital.
something related to the traditional frameworks of Scrum, of Agile, and working with product in a specific way, and all these kind of business analysis and product ownership practices together with the practices of development. So I've understood that I have plenty of skills. I know a lot of stuff. I would say I do not know a lot of stuff. I can do a lot of stuff, but I can't express what I'm doing. And I read a lot of articles. I've seen a lot of similarities of what I'm doing practically with my hands, but
theoretical.
That there are a lot of kind of better things, and a lot of knowledge already exists that I can take and do not reinvent the wheel when I'm doing something. And some stuff, apparently some stuff was so mind-blowing for me. It was like a brainwave when I kind of read some articles about technology and product development and so on and so forth. So being 24, like 23, I've decided to go to different to the more focused, more like a digital focused direction, further automating banks and automating and pursuing digitalization of companies. And that was the second pivot in my experience. And the third was about specifically the understanding of technology. When I've transitioned to the more specific environment dedicated to the technology and product. And of course, I was thinking that was create your company. And you can see this company in my LinkedIn profile. This company is one of the leaders of digitalization, CRM and ERP systems, and they have their own product. It's a CRM ERP system with a lot of functionality. And I've came from the like a not really small, but not a big bank. And I was thinking, hey, I'm a super cool guy here, and I know everything about banking. And I was dedicated specifically on the digitalization of banks using the products of this company. And in the first months, I understood literally one of the weakest bricks in their team. Not because of not because I'm useless, because because like people around me know much more and can kind of apply much more better tools, tactics, knowledge to solve this stuff around. And one of the main things that I was really struggling to do is to get the right technology with the right product. And therefore, I understood I need to pursue myself into the understanding of technology more. And I started to learn programming languages. I started to write code, and I started to kind of educate myself. What other my teammates? Because right now in this company, I've been a part of the team, which was classic cross-functional team right now, like developers, designers, product owners, project
Marketing,
managers.
yeah.
Yeah. It was like classic cross-functional team that was working as one team and dedicated to the specific like a product, a specific client, and so on. And when I was at banking, at the bank, the IT team was kind of something over there, and that's why like a lot of banks just fail in digitalization. Or one of the reasons, of course. But back in the days, I couldn't at the very beginning of this part of my journey. I couldn't work efficiently with developers, and uh, I couldn't work efficiently with developers on that level where I will be a star, I will be the best of the best of the team and of the company and so on. And in order to achieve that, I had to go deeper into the technology and to find out how I can build or how this stuff is built, how the product is built, like like I put this product that I was working with to the bricks in terms of technology, where it's hosted, what's the programming language, how the main models work, how they speak with each other,
The
and so on and
core
so forth.
basics, yeah.
Yeah. The core basics. Because one of the main things that we had to do is kind of to integrate these new product with existing banking
With the
systems.
business, yes.
Yeah, and with the existing business systems, a bit of spin-off. Right now, any product is 90% an integration of this product with anything with something else. But I had to learn how systems are communicating between each other,
Yes.
inside and outside the scope, and therefore, like I've built a few things by myself. I learned how to create websites. I learned how to create SaaS products. I was learning a lot of stuff, and I learned JavaScript, I learned PHP, I learned Python, and obviously all things around that. And that gave me a huge advantage over like everything that I was doing and I'm doing right now.
Yes. I think I one thing I like a key theme or thought process that seems to be evident in your career is always asking, I'm here, but what is next? So you are always keen on understanding these are the skills I've accumulated in level 1 to what do I need to go to level 3? I'm at level 3, what do I need to go to level 4? So my question is, you built your corporate career and your skills and your knowledge of technology, but then how did you decide to take that leap to I'm at level 3, 4, but then I want to go to these strategic roles of being a CEO, a CTO. How did that, if you can just tell me about this leap that you've made, and did you have to do some learning like you described now, or was it natural, slowly from being a product leader to directly going to strategic leadership, or are there certain skills that you had to gain or some learning you had to do?
Yeah, few important thoughts about that, and a bit of kind of lemon touch about my 100% dedication and motivation and so on. I wouldn't say I don't want to sound like a 100% robot that always thinks about what's next and going to better stuff, more. That's not specifically true, just because I'm a human. Yeah, my whole career is a motivation that I had and I have of going far beyond that I had back in the days when I was young. But also, it is it is a blend. It is a mix of curiosity, laziness, and boring, and kind of being bored. Yeah, and I explain why. Because and it's what I think is part of what I do when I start and you can probably notice that by yourself, and you start doing something. You're extremely interested, motivated, and you do it. You just do it as better as you can. And then after a while, you notice things that can be better. Hey, I can do that better. This thing is too boring. I don't like to do that stuff. For example, like writing emails or whatever, or like entering the data into CRM or anything else. You starting like to notice things that can be better. You starting to notice things that you're bored of, and you starting. And at some point, you also at some days you are like too unmotivated to do your work. You had like I don't know, harsh night, or you've got some booze with your friends, and so on and so forth. So many factors. And when I'm bored and when I'm lazy, I'm starting to invent stuff. I'm starting like to avoid work, not by doing work, but it's kinda as well. Everyone trying to avoid dumb work or something like that. But as also I wanted to kind of progress on my career, I had to do the work, but figure out how to do that to do not be bored or to do not do this work and but still get the work done. And therefore I kind of started inventing. I started like invent the automation stuff. I started like invent for myself the delegation, because I back in my career I didn't know the word like delegation and collaboration with people, and I started basically to talk with people to get the understanding whether this chunk of work is needed at all. And no one would punch you in your nose for just asking whether it's still needed or not. But it's worth to ask that if you're too bored to do that, or if you're too lazy to do that, and so on and so forth. But the majority of stuff I've just automated, or I've just invented a new way how to do that, or I've just restructured the business or the process in a way that some boring stuff or some dumb stuff, it wasn't just needed in the business to do. And that's one of the kind of big piece of moving forward. Not only just kind of internal motivation and really straightforward and dumped way of going forward and hit the brick wall with your head. Hitting the brick wall is extremely boring, and I'm too lazy to do that. And it's important to find the back door in everything that you do, and that's one of the key things of being like successful as well. Of looking the back doors, still having the idea of where you're going, rather than just hitting the brick wall with your head and trying to build the way. It's too exhausting, and you probably will be extremely burnt out for after like quite a while.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and that's a kind of big piece of how I see and how I teach my kids to do stuff. And speaking about the strategic roles, at some point of my career, and that's what I've seen through my networks, through the people, through the successful people that I'm hanging out with, that at some point they got so much knowledge and so much experience
Experience.
Around their
Area of.
area, yeah, and around what they do. And the trick is when you go to that level, you're trying to you're starting to notice that it's you have really limited time to do stuff. You have really limited kind of number of hours to turn your knowledge and experience into something valuable. And therefore comes delegation, teamwork, and basically, and that's it, delegation and teamwork. And my transition from the single unit and extremely motivated and efficient professional to the leader was pretty much natural, because I started to understand, hey, I can do more, but I'm really limited in time. And while talking in a team, while talking in a group, people were joining to me, and that's a really important thing to understand. If you do something, if you like just create things, if you come up with ideas and you execute these ideas, not just at sitting and bullshitting, you take responsibility on your ideas. People will join you. People will naturally follow you in your journey, and they will kind of help to make these ideas happen. And you've started to become leader, informal leader of the group, when your ideas and things you do, things you know, people are really admiring that. And by becoming the informal leader, it's kind of it's funny, one step from being a formal leader, or one step from kind of pursuing the role which gives you more strategic overview. And of course, it's kind of first thing team leader. The next thing it's kind of group leader, group of teams, and so on. And next one, more strategic roles when you kind of can manage a lot of different processes by a little part of your brain, because your knowledge and your experience is extremely concentrated, and you know what to do in these parts. And so my journey was specifically like that. It was extremely organic, and my natural character had a leadership inside, and that started as well from the very youth. I have two brothers and two younger brothers, and I had to maintain them from the very from the time as I remember myself. I had my two brothers, and I was their leader.
You had to lead from an early age.
Yeah. But it's not for other people. It's not something that if you're born in a family where you are just one kid, it doesn't mean that.
Of course, yeah.
You must have two brothers.
Yeah.
Beside you. It means it only means that you must come up with ideas and take the responsibility for these ideas. And of course, at some point, and even in the majority of cases, you must take the fail as the responsibility for the fail of your idea, and have enough courage
Yes.
To understand that. And
Yes.
when you create this idea, when you talk about this idea, to understand that your idea could be not only successful, but also with a higher probability, with a higher probability you will fail. And be honest with yourself that the world is not a kind of piece of ice cream. You will be often punched in your nose,
Yeah.
and but that's the path of the leader, and that's the path of the person who wants to level up himself or herself into the something kind of more where you know that you can create more value by providing the vision and providing the
Direction.
direction to the people that listen to you and trust you.
Yes. No. There's like a genuine aspect where it's really your career is and the way it grew is purely, and the core of it is the knowledge you built, and slowly you just focused on the different aspects that are missing, and naturally it slowly accumulated all these skills to become a leader. So I think what we can learn from your experience, Ross, is if you have the technical knowledge, it helps, but you also need to have that personality of being able to direct people, having some emotional intelligence as well, because you might be the most skilled tech and product leader, but if you cannot lead a direction and communicate it clearly, then it will all collapse. So I think, that's a valuable lesson learned.
I would like to say, that it's not something about personality that is sitting inside you and you just have that. It's something that you can train in yourself.
Yes.
And it's something that you can grow inside yourself, and you can kind of, it's a skill that
You can develop.
increase and you can develop.
Yes.
And the only thing that you need for that, it's enough internal strength, internal motivation to go through this route, and to do not just be really comforty and cozy person in your in your group or in your company that everyone is comfortable with, but also the person that provides the direction, provides the idea. It can be in a different way. There are a lot of different leadership methods,
Styles,
and leadership styles, and you can be a different leader, from the autocratic to the friendly bro, but the only thing is that you need to have a motivation to do that. And
Yes.
this internal motivation, motivates the people around you, and gives them an understanding that you're the person that they can count on, and you will not kind of put them behind. And therefore, it gives you a really great level up in your group or within the company that you work with, or within the kind of another one company, and so on.
Yes. Yes. I have an interesting question, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. For young professionals like myself, if I want to have this interesting growth or hyper growth path that you had, what's your take, and briefly, on, do you have any advice on, should I work in smaller companies or larger companies to build these skills faster? Like, from your experience, did it help you? Because you worked in both, right?
Yeah.
What's your take on that, briefly? Like, if I want to start influencing people, as you said, or having that skill to try to, first of all, understand what the right direction is and communicate it, what's the best environment, or your opinion, or is it a mix of both, and what's the order of going to like big companies first, small, or vice versa?
Yeah, really great question, Tamer. And the one short answer on that is if you want to extreme growth and extreme success in your career or whatever, you must take the risk, and that's the whole point. And it answers on any question on the whole question, and it gives you an understanding how to assess the decision where to go, because huge risk of course, like smaller companies or bigger companies. In a nutshell, there are small companies that just are businesses and there is no risk over there, and there are big companies that are huge enterprise corporations where people work for years, like tens of years and so on, and there is no risk over there as well. But there are small companies, startups, that are trying to change something, and trying to build some product, or already build that, and they've got some investments, and they need to prove themselves that they have an ability to scale through these investments and be able to get the next round, or be able to become profitable at some point. Or big companies, big enterprises, where there are different innovative initiatives, or innovative directions, or any other risky stuff in the big company, and you just have to be there.
Yes.
And always it's about creating something new and making something new. You will not be successful if you just do ordinary stuff without any innovation. If you just kind of working as a support agent or support manager and doing these just general support of customers in whatever, in Asda, or at Asda company, or any other retail company, or at Google, whatever. But if you do the quantum computing at Google, or if you dedicate yourself on AI technology at any company, or if you like work if you're working at digitalization department, which helps the company to be better, or if you work at sales, where that sells specific innovative product at a company that scales on a huge speed, with a huge speed. That's a really risky approach.
Yes.
But you have to be there if you wanna be successful.
Yes.
And what's important to understand that these companies need people that are not lazy, and not lazy in a bad way, not in a good way. The way of laziness that I explained is being lazy in a good way, and being bored with work in a good way. When you're bored and you kind of trying to automate stuff, or trying to optimize stuff just to do not be bored. But if you just want to have work-life balance, and have more balance than work, then I don't think that the career path or career ladder is for you. Just gonna take your time and enjoy regular stuff that you do, and so on.
True. I feel it's your choice, exactly. Like there's some sacrifice of taking that path where innovation and risk is, where there's probably long hours, a lot of learning on the side you need to do. But your experience proved that if you take that path, you can probably make it if you really work hard and get that cutting edge knowledge that the small amount of people know at this time. So yeah.
that's important to understand that that's a recipe for the people that are building themselves from the ground without any connections, without money, without like
Yes,
a trust behind their backs and so on. If you have just your head, your brain, and your arms, and you have a motivation, that then you can reach anything. You can achieve anything that you want. But of course, you need to sacrifice a lot of stuff, sacrifice some happiness, sacrifice some enjoyment, sacrifice
of
some like a
course.
personal time, and so on and so forth. But I wouldn't say, I will say that it was these past worst of all these sacrifices. Um, it it's kind of someone feels comfortable in a or at some level, and I personally felt myself uncomfortable of living the life that I lived, and I understood that at some point I need to put myself onto the into the work rather than like just walking around and enjoying the weather and so on.
It's I think it's a mix, right? You sometimes feel you're too comfortable, so you jump to that fast track, but then sometimes you feel you've been a lot like running a lot on
Yeah,
that fast track, so you find that balance that's fit for who you are, and I think staying a lot on one of the two sides is not a good idea for a
yeah,
young professional. You can be on the comfortable side for a lot and you're sacrificing time, but in a negative context. But also if you're on the fast track a lot, you're sacrificing health and a bit of a personal life where it becomes at a certain point not worth it. So it's
yeah,
a
definitely.
sweet spot between both. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but you can sit on two chairs. You must kind of do something. You must look and work in
exactly.
someone in one direction, and it shouldn't be like a wave when you changing your mind a lot. It's a huge chunk of dedication, and of course, you can have some retreat after that because you're literally burning out. Yeah, and it's true. But the success requires a lot of dedication, a lot more than balance with yourself inside and with kind of nature or with life.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Interesting thought that I want to share as well is the how you transition to the more strategic role in terms of strategic role when you building companies, not just dedicating yourself to the some side of the strategic roles. You know, this kind of chief technical officer, chief product officer, chief financial officer, and all the other like a direction of the companies. But at some point, the ultimate strategic role is the CEO, of course, or like board member or director of the board and head of the board and so on and so forth. But the entrepreneur, in my mind, I call that entrepreneur or founder or whatever. So the person who who unites all these directions and can and provides a vision about the strategy of the company overall and able to talk and to digest and to understand the different sides of the company. And that's the ultimate level of the strategic leadership and the ability to create things and bring the value to this world. And at some point, being tipping my toes deeper into the technology, I understood that technology is pretty much the same thing. Like when you're a developer, when you're an engineer, it's the same thing of being the professional, but you are alone and you have your two hands to write the code. And right now you have a copilot, AI copilot that helps you to write the code or whatever. But it's always uh, your time, only your time, like 24 hours, or not 24 because we sleep for some time, but at least like a 10, 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, whatever you working schedule looks like. But you have only specific limited amount of time when you can do something. And even being tech professional, technology professional, engineer, developer, whatever, you at some point you must understand that you need different skills, completely different skills, a part of engineering
Yes.
to bring more value here. And as you experience with that, as you kind of build these skills to become CTO, a CTO, or chief technical officer, or chief product officer, or any other kind of C-level professional on this direction, chief innovation officer, chief informational officer, whatever. At some point, you start understanding that your hard skills, the understanding of engineering side, or understanding of product side, or understanding of finance side, is extremely not enough. And the main knowledge that you must obtain, not the main, maybe 50-50, like a 70-30, whatever, but a huge chunk of knowledge is sales. And
Sales.
that's kind of brainwave for me.
I wasn't expecting sales. I was like expecting for you to say leadership or management, but interesting that you chose sales.
Yeah, and leadership is a management. Like I really blend leadership with management because for me management is something not quite people oriented, and I like to dedicate myself to leadership and the leader that leads people by example rather than like telling someone what to do. And so leadership is a piece that we've covered, and the leadership is something that you should express and you must express at the very beginning of your life. But if you want to jump from the specific professional dedication to the more high level view, or to the more strategic level, you must understand sales. And sales, it's everything about talking with people and the ability of explain them what you do, and get them interested in what you what do you do, what you sell, what your product is, what your services are, and so on and so forth. And sales, it's about everything of this chunk. It's about marketing, it's about PR, it's about the direct sales and whatever. And I literally have a lot of flashbacks from being 18 years 18 years individual, sitting on this kind of sales coaching stuff. And these were obviously not only the sales things that I've had. I've read a lot of books, and I've had a lot of trainings and conferences and so on and so forth. But sales, that's something that you must learn together with technology, and sales give you a much more understanding about business, and wipes out your dreams about how successful your product will be when you like think about it. Because in our head everything is super bright and successful, and it's really pink and unicorns everywhere. But as I was saying, life is smashing your nose every time when you think everything's cool and everything's great. You just need to go and talk with people, and sales, that's what helps you to achieve success even more.
Yes, no, 100%. Because as a leader, you're offering some value, and if you don't convince people that this is actually valuable, then there's no benefit from all the other stuff you're doing, engineering, marketing, product, etc. So I think it's definitely a core thing. From your experience in these leadership positions and the corporate environment, how did you feel they're different when it comes to like decision making and the responsibilities you had? Like how did a day in the life of Ross, for example, change from moving to corporate to someone leading the technology at a startup? If that makes sense, like going to the practical stuff in terms of how you made decisions. Okay.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And for me, the only difference is that in the startup and corporate world, more people on the meeting.
That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference, to be honest. It's not necessarily that these people are kind of making decision or they are like important in the meeting, but it's more people in the meeting.
Yes, I agree. I mean, you're making decisions in both, but it's also more bureaucracy, like levels of this has to approve, that have to approve.
More people in the meeting.
More bureaucracy, like, this person has to sign this off. In a startup, you just think and execute, I guess, from what
and I have like a specific kind of a lot of recipes how to structure companies properly, because I had my chunk of enterprise experience from the heavy structured vertical companies to the growing startups from 0 to like a 700, 1,000 people in the company. And fortunately, I had an opportunity to grow one of the companies like that. This company called Wirex, and I grew this company from very zero, from like a handful of people to 500 people in the management. And I had the chance and successfully solved the puzzle how to have less people on the meeting and how to efficiently manage everything around, keeping the startup-ish spirit and having motivation of innovation forward and moving forward with ideas and performance. And I've developed my own frameworks and organizational structures, blending the Spotify tribes, blending my experience from corporations, specifically creating teams, creating groups of teams and teams in a way that is dedicated to the specific direction of the business, and organizing communication in a specific way. So there shouldn't be like a 100 approvals, but yet still everyone are conscious
on the same page,
on the same page, and understand what's happening around. So that's about like being a leader and apply all these different leadership frameworks and applying them in the right moment, in the right time, and continuously overseeing dynamic of the company and dynamic of the team to fix any knowledge gaps and fix anything. And the core method that I use for that is transitional code, like to remove or to decrease the transactional expenses between because everything is a transaction. Everything you're talking to this person and you exchanging like
Ideas or
the transactions of information and if you like think enough and work enough to think about how to optimize these transactions of information and remove these transactional expenses, because the time that you spend of telling the update or like providing the update to the group or providing the update to the people, it's a transaction of information, and the time that you spend on that, it's an expense of that generated by this transaction. And by putting that on a map, putting that on a table and analyzing how to optimize that gives you an understanding how to kind of remove all these meetings, approvals, and a lot of different stuff. I really like the approach of Jeff Bezos from Amazon in a way of organizing communications. One of his emails to the company, and I really encourage everyone to read Jeff Bezos' emails about the Amazon and efficiency at Amazon and growing and how Amazon.
The shareholder letter, I think that was the one you're talking about. Yes.
Shareholder letter and the emails to the company
leadership.
It's the same, but we need to double check. But one of the emails, anyway, one of the emails that really opened my eye is an email that described the approach of everyone acting as microservices or micro groups that connecting with each other through the API. And right now I spoke with different technical different technical words, but that always also tells that everyone should understand that who want to succeed in digital products and companies in a modern world. You must understand what this API is. You must understand what is like a microservice or small service, whatever. But what's the idea of that? That people must have a specific protocol of communication between each other, and groups must have a specific protocol of communication between each other in order to lower the expenses of these kind of transitions of information between each other to the minimum. And organizing the efficient channels and protocols of communications between people, between the groups, it's a ultimate level of mastery of corporate design and organizational design, which I really like. I probably will write a book about that, but that's something in the future.
I think you should, definitely. And I really like, because it's in a way linked to the technologies you worked in, like you work in now, which is making the expense of each transaction the lowest and making them the most efficient, which is a bit in a way linked to blockchain. So I like how you bring that technology into your leadership and management style. That's very interesting, right? Because I think these are frameworks, and the same way they can apply to transactions on the digital or on the web, they can also be applied to transactions or interactions within an organization. So I really found that interesting. Can you briefly tell us about what you do now at Calyptus? So you're, as you said, you're CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and Chief Product Officer. Can you tell us a bit more about your the company and your role, please?
Yeah, Calyptus is a very unique company. It's a very unique product, and I'm extremely attached to what I do and to what I did through my career. And I'll explain why just in a few minutes. So I met Dan and Cam, they are co-founders of Calyptus, and they told me about their product, what they want to achieve last year, and they were thinking they had learning and hiring company, and they were thinking about applying AI to speed up the hiring of tech professionals. And that's something, and that's a huge pain for any leader in a technology side, in a digital product side, because, and for any leader, to be a leader and to do something, you must have a team. You must surround yourself with the best people to bring the best products to the world. And it's a pain. It's a huge pain to find these people. It's a huge pain to kind of find the right people around
Yes.
around the society
Yeah.
that is around you. And because of different factors, because of a lot of people are fake, because a lot of people are just do not have motivation, because a lot of people you can't trust them, and you can't
They don't share the same values.
you can't be you can't rely on their skills, whatever. So it's a pain because you literally must spend a huge piece of your time, which you can spend more efficiently on just kind of scrolling through CVs or just I said scrolling through speaking through the interviews, with people, and so on. And this need of ability to automate this process and find the tech professionals much more efficiently extremely resonated with me, because through the companies that I've scaled in businesses and every product that I've built, I had an ability to find the best people, the best people overall, and the 90% of people that I work with, they are incredible, wonderful persons, and most of them were working with me like from the very beginning till the my departure from the company, and I really admire like a lot of them, and I'm really thankful to the team that I assembled at Wirex, and really thankful to the team that I assembled at Dark Matter, banks that I worked with, DCM, my last company, and I'm really proud with the team at Calyptus as well. And I see that one of my main talents to find the right people, to motivate them, and to bring the value and to build great companies, high growth companies with these people together. Which more important for me, I still do a lot of things with my hands, and I still like do engage in a lot of things by myself. Not because I want to be so hands-on and micromanage. I just lead by example. I'm setting the level of the quality that I'm expected by my example, how I require to do that. And that's the first point. The second point, I want to be on top of the technology. I want to be on top of the innovation. I'm the first who, I was one of the first who tried all the AI stuff, ChatGPT, obviously. I was one of the first people who prompt engineered the agents and applied all this across my companies and educated people how to do that properly. And I'm still doing that because AI technology is popular, it's buzzing everywhere, but people are not gonna, they are not too technical, they can't use this properly to get not just general bold answers. But anyway, finding a talent, finding the right person to for your team is a pain. You must spend a huge time to do that. And that's where Calyptus emerged in my radar, and that's when I kind of said, okay, I'll try to I'll try to bring the best solution to the market here as well, and solve one of my problems. And Calyptus will help me with all other my companies and all other my ventures that I'll have in my future, obviously. And Calyptus, and we built the platform at Calyptus that I've joined the last year from July, and from July to March, we were designing and building the new version of the product. It's a SaaS platform which is powered by AI to create your verified profile with the specific skills, and where you can verify the skills, you can verify your experience, and you're building this ultimate profile by pulling data from different sources, including LinkedIn, including your CV, including your GitHub, and AI helps you to do that really efficiently and to do that in one go rather than sitting and spending hours on kind of creating the best profile. And AI helps you to do that in the most efficient way, and in a way that you will be attractive to recruiters and you will be attractive to companies. And on the other side, companies have access to the talent pool of verified professionals and it gives the ability to hire people faster, because AI also provides matching score for the jobs that you have to the talent pool, to the professional that you're looking for. And ultimately, the idea that Calyptus is trying to achieve is to automate the hiring process completely by not automating the traditional step of this hiring process, but by completely erasing them from the hiring process. So literally, if you've got a 100% match with the person as a company through the open jobs that you have, this person can work in a team and it will be perfect fit for that team. Yeah, and that's the ideal world that Calyptus hiring platform is working and building, but also Calyptus future is more bright, even more bright than that. We are building an ecosystem where you can get hired, where you're getting hired, and where you can manage your finance, can get paid in a better way, because there is a huge gap in relationships between the employee and employer. When you get hired, you literally in a vacuum of your finance side, because of like a different stuff, even because the financial matters. It's a completely different department usually in the company that anything else. And this is a stress also. And in the Web3 industry, there are a lot of different issues rising on that side as well, because companies have their tokens. They want to provide bonuses to these tokens, and team members always have allocations, some of shares or for tokens, and there is no efficient way how to do that, and different payment rails also can be used, because people are across the world, and someone wants to use cryptocurrency, stable coins for getting paid, someone wants to use traditional currency, and someone wants to use like a blend of currencies. And the Calyptus ecosystem is dedicated to build such a set of products that provides an ability to get hired, get paid, and earn more money spend this money efficiently with the Calyptus wallet, with the Calyptus card, and with the Calyptus payment platform, and earn more bonuses or earn more like different points, and literally be free from the stress around hiring and money, and focus on the best thing of best sides of yourself, and focus on the growing and enjoying your life, and building better yourself.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big gap, definitely, in terms of how much businesses spend on hiring the right people and then managing the all the hiring process until they get onboarded, and then connecting to the bank account and transferring money, make sure everyone's paid on time. So if all of this is automated, you're talking about, first of all, a lot of money, but also a lot of time saved
Yeah.
for businesses. You touched on your responsibilities in your answer. You said sometimes I need to lead by example and teach the people. There's also some innovation you need to do of thinking of
Yeah.
where the product is at and how I want to develop it further. You also need to sell, and you also need to also be involved, as you said, and build.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of responsibilities. How, like, walk us through that role of being the CTO, CPO. What are these key responsibilities, or how do you prioritize? And this week I want to do X, Y, Z. Like, because there's a lot you can do, right? And there's an
Yeah.
opportunity cost to every decision you can make. Do I want to teach the team more now? Do I want to focus on building the product? So how do you know what to do next when it comes to your role?
Yeah, it's really important question, Tamer, and I look on that like a process, like a mind map that I have in my head, and it's not a coincidence that I blend the CPO and CTO role together, because for me it's important to work on something from the idea till the and working product to the end business that actually makes money, and that's pretty much the process. The idea that assembled by the team or assembled by me, and overall at my level, it's about looking for ideas or facilitating the team to find this idea, to grow up this idea through the lot of conversations that we have, and then bringing this idea to the scope, and then applying different techniques and different frameworks to understand what should be first, what should go next, and so on. And I like to operate with two stuff. It's a product roadmap, and it's a delivery roadmap. It's like two really connected things that business is looking at, which provides the product roadmap provides you all the overview about the business and about the things that will be in the product, and the delivery roadmap provides you an overview about the resources and when these things will be in the product. And by assembling these two things, two documents, let's say, or it can be two boards, it can be like two files that you have on your laptop, whatever. It's not necessary to think about specific tool. It's necessary to think about the method and about the approach, how to do stuff. And once you have that in your mind, when you have these two plans in your mind, and what's important to say, what I'm missing is that all these plans, and before even the idea, it's important to say that I work on the strategy overall. And strategy is a glue that gives you a glue and the framework that gives you the specific boundaries. What ideas are good for you, and what ideas are not good, and on which ideas to focus, and how to prioritize ideas and things inside your product roadmap. Because strategy provides you some drivers that you're counting on. For example, user growth, or you're growing the revenue, or you're growing the like any other KPIs of the product that you have. So ideas assembled into the plans and then executed these plans, and everything is glued with the specific culture and leadership practices, and then shipped to the product, and this process kind of continues in a cycle.
Yes, and there's feedback loops in it, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you find that the customer's finding a problem with the product, you
yeah,
think, is it the way we built the product? Is it the way, what in the product exactly? Which part of the
yeah,
product?
yeah,
Which processes are linked to that part so that you pinpoint? And as you said, if you have a roadmap, it's easy to just say, this is
yeah,
the part where we
yeah,
missed, and you feedback into learning, or you decide what's the number one factor that led to this gap so you
yeah,
can
yeah.
bridge it.
Yeah, I work a lot, for example, at Calyptus, I work a lot with community. I talk a lot with community, talk a lot with users, and trying to pick up things, trying to understand things from what they do. I work a lot with different people around, selling Calyptus to them, selling the project, the company to them, and selling what I do, how I do, and that's a part of like a post-execution maintenance that you must do. For me, a lot of these things are just general work, and I'm just unboxing that while speaking. But the whole point is that my role is the person that leads all these chunks of process, provides the vision to that, provides the methods and tools, and from the
Yes.
technology side, how it should be built, and what we should be built, and from the product side, what we should be built, why we should build that, and from the company side overall, how we gonna get to the success, when we're gonna do that, and what's gonna happen next, and in future, and so on and so forth. In a lot of sense, when you're on such a strategic level, you kinda try and predict the future, and that's completely different topics that we can talk about. How to predict the future with a high probability.
That's a tough one to do. But yeah. I think, Ross, there's a lot of young professionals now that are keen to making it to these strategic roles. And as opposed to your time, the resources are now numerous, and you can grow very fast given the accessibility to knowledge, information, and development. So what advice do you have for young professionals that want to make it to the C-suite, or like the CTO, CPO, CEO, or these strategic management levels?
Yeah. One maybe the most frustrating things that young professionals have, and I had a chunk of that in my life, is when you're looking on the open opportunity on the some career website, on Indeed, whatever, at Calyptus as well. The company requires like a 10 years of experience for junior position or whatever. Like 2 years of commercial. You must have 2 years commercial experience to be the intern in the company.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drives me nuts. How I could have a commercial experience if I'm junior?
Yeah.
And that's also what convinced me to start my professional journey earlier, like being on the second year of the uni or something like that.
Yeah.
But for the young professionals, and that's probably the most frustrating thing for the young professionals, and I want to share the recipe for that, and hopefully, this approach also will help you to go forward through the like higher roles, to the leadership roles, and so on. Start building things. Start building things in your like bedroom, in your backyard, whatever. But take your personal time to explore the direction that is required for the job you want to do, and where you don't have experience enough. So, for example, you wanna become a data analyst, but you don't have experience to get the position you want to. Go to Kaggle, go start playing around with the data, start building models, start building dashboards, start build stuff, solving common problems, or even more, solving problems dedicated to the industry, not to the company, but to the industry that you want to work with. If you want to work with finance, data analyst extremely needed in the scoring models. Build a scoring model that will be better or the same that is a market standard. Make it open source. If you're a product person, build the product and showcase the product. Come up with idea and explain this idea. Build the following product documents to explain this idea. If you're a designer, build the concept of I don't know, redesign the Revolut. They probably will not know about that, and no one will notice that. But that's something that you can showcase what you did. So start building your, let's say, skills, and start building your portfolio. And that's all about the portfolio. And if you are a developer, start contributing to the open source. If you are like a support manager, start kind of supporting people at Quora, on Quora, or start finding answers in your direction in the specific ecosystem. A lot of tools have these kind of contribution stuff. If you want to develop in the Web3, join the popular servers of popular protocols. Start providing people some knowledge and showcase this knowledge, and start selling it. And so build your experience so you already have that. It's probably not commercial, but on the interview, you will be extremely specific on what you did, because you did it, and you've done that. You kind of came up with idea. You can clearly provide the brain chain and the path, how you did it, what is the end result, and you can show that.
Yes.
And that's together with motivation of working at some company, or working at in some role, in some product, in some direction. That's probably one of the most valuable things that I'm looking as a C-level person right now. If someone would come to me and show what they've built in their backyard, in their like a bedroom, just because they heavily wanted to gain some experience in some direction, and they express the motivation of work at this industry, not particularly in my company, because I don't wanna. I'm coming to the company just to get money, and that's it. But to work in the industry, and they see the company as a good point to start or to proceed with growing through their like role.
Yeah.
I will hire this person instantly.
Again, sorry, that last.
If this person will come to me to the interview and showcase what.
Oh, I will hire.
Yeah, I
got
will
it.
hire this person instantly.
Yes, I think to summarize what you said, if you want to do something in your job, start doing it. Basically, you have the tools, and if there's any gaps, address these gaps by learning and applying. I'll quickly ask you two very quick questions. If there is one technology you think people should read about and know about that is influencing many businesses and industries, what is that technology?
AI.
AI. Okay.
Oh, but it's not specifically like every AI. It's large language models
Yeah.
and how to prompt engineer properly to get the best answers from them. Why though? Because that's a tool that will give you the answers on what to do next.
Yes.
That's that's a key to open any door to the knowledge that you have in our world and so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah. And then the last question is, what's next for you, Ross, in terms of your future goals and aspirations?
My internal goal is to reach the point of ability to focus on anything that I want without thinking about the financials and any other stuff which is related to the my life operations, let's say.
Opportunity costs.
I mean, like to do not think on the utilities, do not think on the everything that we need to maintain to live this life, basically. So that's the ultimate objective that I want to achieve for my life, and I'm kind of slowly coming to that. Of course, the attack of Russians to Ukraine significantly influenced that, and not only my life and lives of millions of people, but in terms of professional scale, I'm looking to bring something really valuable and life-changing to this world. I really want to put a mark on in this world, and I'll dedicate myself and continue to work to make this world better and bring more value to that, because that's probably everyone should be looking for, just to do not live the life and leave something after that. So leave something better that people will admire and count on.
100%. I can tell you after our conversation, personally influenced, and I really learned a lot. And I'm sure anyone who will listen to this episode as well will be influenced. So you're already making your way to being that person. Exactly. So really appreciate your time and all the advice and insights you've shared. I've learned a lot and I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Ross.
Yeah, thanks, Tamer, for inviting me. I really enjoyed the conversation. I really shared a deep wisdom and knowledge that I have in my head, and hopefully it will be useful.
It will for sure. At least for me, I was really it was a learning learning conversation for me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.